Hi, I'm Una. I'm a PhD candidate with the School of Law, and I'm here today with my supervisor, Jennifer, and we are here to answer some of your questions.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. So the first question is, what's your favorite thing about being a PhD supervisor?
Well, there are lots of good things, but one is that I get to share the journey of somebody who is researching in an area. Hopefully they're really enthusiastic about it. Often I learn things from that, but it's really nice to see not only the growth of the research, but also the growth of the person doing the research. And also there are those little occasions where you see the student will have the light bulb moment when they think, I get it. And that's just so nice. I feel like cheering from the sidelines sometimes.
Okay.
So now it's my turn to ask you a question. Why did you choose to do a PhD?
I've always wanted to do a PhD. It's always been the ultimate goal. That's one. Second, as an Indigenous woman, I feel like it's important, my research would be so important. And so that was two of the motivators for me to do a PhD. I want to be able to do research that means something. And so I feel with a PhD, I can accomplish that. Yeah.
Great reasons. Can I ask you a question now? How is your PhD different from your undergraduate studies?
Oh, it's very different. It's a personal journey. I feel like I'm alone, but I'm not alone. So really, in terms of getting the research done, if I'm not meeting my supervisor, I'm basically, I set the goals, the timelines, and I need to meet those, as compared to my undergrad, where my lecturers set all the deadlines and everything. So that's the biggest difference. Yeah. Why are you passionate about research?
I think one thing is that I like to solve puzzles. One of my hobbies is cryptic crosswords. And that's really what you're doing, I think, when you're doing a piece of legal research. So you can look beyond what the law says to have a look, what does the law mean? You can dig a little bit deeper to see what's wrong with the law. And of course what's right with the law, and you can also go on from that to make recommendations, air your ideas. So those are the things that I like, and I also like the fact that you can have positive impact. So in certain times you've got that impact where your ideas are actually taken on board by maybe policymakers or even governments or courts.
Yes.
So, those are some of the things I like. Now let me ask you a question. Why did you choose to do your PhD at UQ?
Oh, UQ was always at the top of my list of universities.
That's what we want to hear.
Yes. One is I wanted somewhere where I had the right person guiding me throughout the process. The second is I did do research, and I saw that UQ's placement in terms of universities in the world and in Australia. And so I thought, I definitely have to send my application in there. And third, it's my initials are, UQ. My second name starts with a Q, so I was like, it's only right that I should choose. Yeah, but that's more personal decision. Yeah, I think.
Well, I'm very glad you did.
What's the best advice you would give to somebody who is considering doing their PhD at UQ?
Well, first I'd tell them that it's a great place to do their PhD because it's a really nice collegial atmosphere. But I'd also say choose something that you have a passion for, because the PhD journey is a long one. and you do not want to be working on something that you're not enthusiastic about, because your interest has to sustain you through that long journey. So that would be my advice. And also to try to find a supervisor who is enthusiastic about your topic as well.
Absolutely.
So when you're in those troughs that everybody has with their research, you've got somebody to talk to about.
Yeah.
So what scholarship have you been awarded, and can you tell us how you found out about it?
So I am currently on the UQ graduate scholarship, and I found out about it when I was putting together my application. So I went through the UQ website and looked at all the scholarships that I thought I would be eligible for. I submitted my proposal and put in an interest for a scholarship, and I was given that scholarship, and here I am. Yeah.
Excellent.
So the next question is, who do you think should do a PhD?
I would say anybody who's got a passion for research. It's got to sustain you throughout your candidature, so that's really important, and I think that's much more important than getting rungs on the board for a career, that passion. I'd also say age, no barrier. And I think really the other thing is you need to be somebody who is willing to step up to a challenge, because again, during the course of your candidature, there will be challenges, and you need to also have some perseverance. So those are the things I think that I would say you need. So my next question, how do you think your PhD will benefit you professionally and personally?
Well, professionally boosts myself as an academic and as an Indigenous academic, and I would be building on work, for example, that you've already done in the Pacific. As an Indigenous researcher, it places me in good stead, and I hope that other Indigenous students would see me and building on that work again. Personally, this is an achievement not just for me. As an Indigenous person and as a woman, this is the PhD would be celebrated by not just myself but my clan and my people. This is not just my achievement, this is an achievement for them as well. Yeah. This is a good one. What made you decide to be my supervisor?
Well, I actually find this quite easy to answer because here is somebody who is a talented lawyer in their own right. Also, of course, you have a great topic, and that topic is aligned with some of my research, so I felt that I could actually contribute to your journey and come along with you on your journey. And I also liked the fact that you had a topic which you had a personal interest in. So obviously you have that enthusiasm to carry you through. As we're going along this journey together, I'm going to learn as much from you as you will from me, hoping that you'll learn something from me.
Oh, absolutely.
So, Una, what is your PhD topic?
The PhD is on the Indigenous identity and how Indigenous people define themselves, how state laws define Indigenous people, and how international law defines Indigenous people. Part of the research is looking at the descendants of the Ni Vanuatu and the Solomon Islanders who were taken to Fiji during the period of blackbirding. Yeah,
So interesting.
Thank you. What was your own PhD topic?
Might sound boring just if I give you just the title, but it was about South Pacific jurisprudence. Of course, that involves conflict between customary laws and state laws, in particular looking at those small island countries in the South Pacific, and looking at ways of reconciling those two very different systems of law.
Yes.
Okay, so I've got one last question for you.
Yeah.
How did you pitch your topic?
I didn't have your contact, but it was on the website, and so I had emailed you, and we discussed, the topic, and it was back and forth because I was in Nauru and you were here. It was fairly simple. I put together a proposal, and then you had a look at it, and you agreed to be my supervisor. Should I get
delighted.
in? Yeah, yeah. And then I put I applied, and I got the confirmation. So yeah, it was a fairly simple process. Yeah.